Eye on Gauteng, brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Economic Development.
And every job was a lesson in survival.
These are scenes from well-known movie titles. All these blockbuster films have one thing in common. They were all shot in and around the Gauteng province. Film presents a compelling economic case, and Gauteng wants to be front and center in the development of the sector. Thabiso Masudubele is the acting chief executive for the Gauteng Film Commission. He is both passionate and knowledgeable about the industry. Thabiso, thank you very much for your time. In terms of economic development and film, what is the connection between the two? And that is why we have the Gauteng Film Commission. I guess I'm really asking you to explain your mandate.
The mandate of the Gauteng Film Commission is to develop and promote the film and television sector within Gauteng. I think our role is to ensure that development continues within the sector, development in the area of transformation, but also development in the area of the production of more and more local content. And as a result, an immediate benefit for the creation of more content would be the improved employment within the sector, increasing the number of people who are employed within the sector, and also creating an environment that's conducive for people to actually enter the sector to contribute positively to the growth of the sector.
The film industry is very much like the real estate industry. It's all about location, location, location. And Gauteng, one of your mandates is to promote Gauteng as an ideal filmmaking location. Tell us how you've done that and how successful you've been able to do that.
I think from a natural point of view, we've been blessed with having natural locations which are on point. I mean, these locations, people, for instance, use downtown Johannesburg as scenes for New York and various other places. So our locations is one of the most important tools of attraction. But not only that, if you look at macro issues, you look at the exchange rate, for instance. That also, in some instances works in our favor with regards to people coming to use our locations But the most underrated and under-mentioned area of our value add and our value proposition is in the area of the expertise that we have in Gauteng. I think we need to start increasing the noise around the capacity and the expertise that we have in Gauteng. So it's not only about locations and the expertise and the facilities, but what we're also trying to do in Gauteng is to also find commercial reasons that would encourage people to come and do their projects in Gauteng. So as the Gauteng Film Commission, on behalf of the provincial government, we're looking at financial incentives that will ensure that people come to do their projects in Gauteng as well.
Thabiso, one of your payoff lines is made in Gauteng, big ideas, perfect locations. What exactly does this mean?
Big ideas, perfect locations. I think it captures the essence of what we're trying to do as the Gauteng Film Commission. I'll start with the latter part, the perfect locations. As we've already spoken about, I mean, we've got the perfect locations in Gauteng. Gauteng is one of a few places where you can take a 30-minute drive from a city center location to a wildlife setting, all in the space of 30 minutes. So that's a huge advantage. When we come to the big ideas part, it's all about doing big things. And in fact, I think it would be proper for me to say that we've done a few big ideas. We're currently working on some few big ideas. We're actually going away on a strategy session with our stakeholders to ensure that we are tweaking these big ideas that we have. And closer to the time, I think we'll begin to announce the big ideas that we have and share those for our new financial year.
One would imagine that it takes a lot of money to make a film, all the work that goes into it, and there's a lot of money that is needed by filmmakers. What does the GFC do in terms of facilitating the type of investment that is going to help the industry grow?
I think one of our priorities, one of the things that we've identified for ourselves is creating a middle ground for artists and bankers, essentially, people who deal with investment and people who are artists who work as film and television practitioners. I think once we can find this common ground where artists perfect their craft and where investors get to understand the commercial aspect of the industry, we'll have won. Now, one of the things that we're doing, for instance, we used to run a campaign that's called The Business of Film, where we begin to sensitize practitioners within the film industry on the importance of having a business plan and a business model which has a distribution arm to it. The distribution arm to it being the one that clearly identifies the projections and the viability of the project as a business. And once that happens, it then makes it a document that an investor is able to read, because investors more often than not are concerned with numbers and the issue of return on the investment that they make. So we need to begin processes where, for instance, we had engaged with members of one of the South African banks to say we need to unpack to you and show you the value chain in this industry and how revenues are collected, so that you can gauge for yourself where the potential areas where you can make a return on an investment are. So I think that the important thing is to bring the two parties to the same table. Bring the artist to the table to say, listen, this is how you perfect in your craft, and to say to investors, understand this craft, but more importantly, understand the business end of the craft.
Well, we are in a new year. Now, in terms of 2012, what can the public expect from the Gauteng Film Commission? What exciting projects and ideas are you going to be unleashing in the year to come?
Well, the locations are permanent fixtures. So the big locations and the perfect locations will always be here. Big ideas definitely on the way. I think closer towards the beginning of our financial year, which is in April, we'll be unpacking all the big ideas that we have. And I think it's become tradition for Gauteng Department of Economic Development through the Gauteng Film Commission to bring different projects to the fore, which emanate from big ideas. And this year will be no different. We will be releasing local films, more and more local films, and we're hoping to do more with regards to release of local films and projects that we are running. But we will make that announcement soon.